Hello, I'm Paddy and I'm on holiday in the middle of the coronavirus travel lockdown. Virtual holiday, that is. We've decided to virtually travel to Scandinavian countries, so I'm trying to do some food like we might be having if we went there in reality. I've already made some gravlax, which is curing in the fridge. You can watch that on one of my other videos, see the link below. But now I'm going to try and make a mackerel pate. I'm really going to make this off the top of my head because we're very restricted with which shops we can go to, and it's a bank holiday as well today. So I'm going to use whatever I've got in the house and try and make a mackerel pate. Fortunately, we have some mackerel, so I can make some mackerel flavoured something or other. But I'm going to put in some vegetables with it, and I've got one of these choppy things to chop them all up with, which will save me a bit of time. So I'm going to start with some carrots to add some body to the pate, so it's not just mackerel. I'm going to cut that up into big chunks so the chopping device can chop them better. I'm going to put some onion in with it as well. This feels like onion is a sort of thing that Scandinavian people would be eating with their fish. Ooh, it's a bit of a dirty onion, that one. I'll just cut off that mouldy bit there. It doesn't need to waste food. Right, chop that one up. Actually doesn't need to be this fine, I just like cutting things, but not my thumb ideally. Right. And of course, lots of dill. Always seems to be a Scandinavian thing in recipes, dill everywhere. I've got some chives as well, which I'm growing in my garden, so add that in as well, give it a bit more body. I think I will need to cut this up fairly fine because the chopping device probably can't deal with cutting this stuff very small. Okay, that's that done. And beetroot. Beetroot is also a thing that is in a lot of Scandinavian recipes. I don't think I'm going to get any beetroot at this time of year, but I've got some which has grown a little bit in my garden. It's actually left over from last year, so if I cut that up fairly fine and then put that in the machine as well, including the leaves, then I think that should work. What I'm not sure is how well all this is going to bind together when I finally make my pate. I'm going to have to improvise a bit on the way. I've got a jar of pickled jalapenos as well, which obviously jalapenos, clues in the name, not very Scandinavian, but these are kind of quite, or very mild jalapenos, so I think we can safely put those in without making it really hot or kind of chilly like. And I'll cut them into rough chunks. Since these jalapenos are in vinegar, I'm going to use some of the vinegar in the jar to make some pickled vegetables later on as well to go with this, because pickles are a big thing. In fact, I think in Scandinavia it's all about preserving stuff. I imagine that there's not a lot of growing time with the weather being cold, there being less sun, so lots of things are pickled and cured, fermented, all kinds of ways of making sure you've got food all through the winter. Right, I'm going to scrape all these into the cutty thing. Let's see how this goes. Well, that's chopped up quite nicely. There are usually a few big chunks of something left over in there, but I don't see any this time. I think it's worked very well. I'm now going to transfer this to a different container before I add the mackerel, because I'm going to use a stick blender from now on. I think that will work better. I've now got the mixture in a jug, so I can use a stick blender, and I'm going to add some spices. I've heard that cinnamon's popular in Scandinavia, so I'm going to put just a little bit in. It might only be for sweet food, but cinnamon's good in savoury food as well. A lot of Moroccan food has it in, so it's not just cakes. And I'm going to grind some things too. I've already got a few cloves in here. I put too many in, so I had to take them out, quite a few of them, because cloves are very powerful. And I'm going to put in some cumin seeds. Just a few of those. Again, that's probably not very Scandinavian. Coriander, that can go in. And some pepper. I'm going to grind this up. Okay, I've done my grinding. Here's my mixture. Oh, it smells good. Wow. I'll put that in on top. The next cup of coffee I grind after this is going to taste very strange. I'm going to put in a bit of lemon juice as well, because this will start to need some liquid. Again, I have no idea how authentic this is, but that's the good thing about a virtual holiday. A little bit of vinegar. I'm just using the pickle vinegar from the chilies, and I'm also going to add a few chipotles just to give it a little bit of heat. Not too many, just a few. I don't like things too hot. And now the actual mackerel. This is just tinned mackerel in oil, and I'm going to put the oil in as well. Ah, doesn't want to come out. This is probably going to bring out a cat running. I can add some more salt if it needs it, but I'll leave it as it is and taste it as I go along. The mackerel's obviously cooked because it's in the tin, and all the vegetables are fine, so I can taste it safely. Now I'm going to try the stick blender on it. Wish me luck. What I want to do now is add a little bit of creaminess to it. I'm going to just do that with some leftover seafood sauce I've got, and also a bit of mustard. I'm going to spoon in a bit of mustard as well. This is patently not Scandinavian, English mustard, but we like it. Squelch that down into it, and I'm going to add a little bit of milk powder to make it a bit thicker. Dip in a bit of that, and hopefully the stick blender will mix it in properly. And pâté tends to have butter in as well, doesn't it? So I'm going to put in some butter. This butter's quite soft, so I'm hoping we can blend that in okay without any problems. As usual, I'm not giving you quantities of things. It's just good to play things by ear. If it's too thin, add more thick things. If it's too thick, add a bit of water or other liquid, and it will work out alright, probably, as long as the ingredients taste good. Salt. I'll just check the taste again. Yeah, I could do with a little bit of salt. I've got some licorice flavour salt here, which is authentically Scandinavian. So I'm going to put in a bit of that and whisk it around. I think to finish off, I'm going to put some rough chopped dill into it, because I feel like it needs a few green bits in it. Just stir in the rest of that mustard as well. Oh, nothing like licking the spoon. So chop that roughly. In it goes. And I'll try and get this thing out off camera. I think it might become a disaster. Lastly, I promised pickled vegetables. I'm going to do some parsnip. Again, not traditionally Scandinavian, but why not? Same with courgette. I don't know if carrots or any of these are traditionally Scandinavian, but they'll do. I'd only realised recently that parsnip can be eaten raw. I had a very nice raw parsnip salad. I wouldn't eat it in a big solid chunk like this though. And I've also realised that the same peeler that can peel off the skin can also make very thin slices, julienne I believe the word is, of vegetables. So once I've finished peeling the peel, I'm going to carry on with the peeler and make very thin strips of this and drop them in the same jar that these chili things came in. Mix that all around. So I'll have some pickled vegetables to go with my mackerel pate. This is Amanda. We've just arrived in... Where have we arrived?
Scandinavia. Gotland.
Gotland. That's right. Should have recognised it.
Should have recognised it, but we've been travelling a lot, so we're a bit jet lagged.
Yeah. We're on a virtual holiday and we've just travelled by a flying mattress. I'm going to try the mackerel pate I've just made in the spirit of a virtual holiday. And we've also made some pickles, which I showed you earlier on a cooking video.
Some sourpad, which we bought at the local bakery.
Yeah. And what are we drinking?
We are drinking cinnamon spirits.
Wow. I don't know what they say in Scandinavia, but yeah, cheers in Scandinavian.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Okay. So I'm very interested to see what Amanda thinks of my homemade mackerel pate, which I really made just off the top of my head out of things I could find.
Can I give us both a little bit of bread and a bit of pate?
Good dollop, let's show on camera. There we go. Let's grab a pickle or two.
A pickle or two.
Pickled parsnip, I've never tried this before.
Okay, here goes.
Thumbs up and thumbs down. Excellent.
It's very mild, isn't it?
A mild pate?
Yeah, mild pate.
That's good, I hope.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think on that note we'll switch off the camera and...
It's subtle, not mild, subtle.
Enjoy the rest.
It's very nice though.
Cheers.